Hey Taurus, this is Perrymore Tarot's daily reading for October 8th, 2025. This is for Taurus. Last shuffle for Taurus. Let's see what's going on. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, let's see. Behind a mask, you have victim mentality. So underneath the surface, you may feel a little bit attacked. You may feel a little bit like, why? Why me? You may be caught up in a lot of the past, of the why me's of the past, right? In the near future, Spirit's going to start pushing you or putting you in positions where you're going to really have to let love be your guide. You're going to have to give with like gratitude, give with grace, just be like, for not necessarily forget the things that happened to you in the past, but to know that your future is an ideal projection of what you envision now. You don't have to be whatever it was. You don't have to, you know what I mean? You don't have to be in that position anymore. You don't have to be known as whatever you were known for. You don't have to be treated the way that you were treated. You don't have to live through whatever you lived through or live with whatever you live with. Your life could be whatever the heck you want it to be, right? And that's serious. Like they're really driving that in, that maybe you had a hard knock life. Perhaps you lost a lot of things. Perhaps this could even be like, oh, ever since grandma passed, I kid you not. And I can relate to this because after my grandmother passed, my family just kind of scattered in the wind a little bit. And I think that's the case for most of us, this generation. So I feel like this generation is a quite different because of the convenience of things. I think that we have failed. I won't say failed, but we have not been able to create that that culture of connection that we used to. Right? It's connected. We're connected. We're more connected than we ever were before, but it's remote. A lot of things are remote. So I see a lot of that. And I keep getting that someone's caught up in the ruins of things. Like I'm hearing the Madonna song, this used to be my playground. Uh, and, and, uh, and Dane Cook, right? I don't know if you know this comedian. He hasn't been out much since. It's been like since the early 2000s, and then after that, I didn't see much of him. But he had this one joke that was so funny, where parents always promise that, you know what I mean, we're gonna go here. You know what I mean? Don't ever tell a child you're going somewhere because they're gonna wake up every day like, are we going or what? So I guess there was a zoo or some kind of petting zoo or some kind of thing called Benson's, or like a amusement park, a pop-up shop kind of one. And the kids are like, dad's like, we're going to Benson's, y'all. And the kids are all happy. And every day he woke up and forgot to go or would be too tired. And then one day they drove by and Benson's wasn't there. The one day he got them all dressed up and was like, all right, we're going today. They get there, it's gone. And so the joke was that one day he's going to have his dad. He's going to, his dad's in the nursing home and he's like, gonna bring him to, or maybe not nursing home, maybe he's taking care of him, and he's like, dad wants to do something so much, I'm gonna take him to this spot and be like, this is where Benson's used to be. And the joke was funny. I'm ruining the joke, but it was so funny. I was in tears because I was like, gosh, he's so funny. Just the way he connects things. I believe he's a Pisces too. He's a hilarious guy. Hilarious. There's certain gems in his jokes that I swear I like to this day I still cannot handle. I can't even think about him now because I'm gonna laugh the whole time. So anyway, I just keep seeing someone going, this is where things used to be. This is how it used to be. This is what life was. And you may be focusing a lot on your roots when you were a child and things of that nature, and how that may be dictating a lot of your steps. You may be walking through your life at this point, according to this, right? Just kind of like it used to be so different. Life used to be so much better, and you may yearn for the closeness that you felt when you were younger with certain relatives or certain people, just like I'm trying to rebuild this closeness that I felt. And they're wanting you to understand that that's going to be something that builds over time, first of all. Second of all, that there is a need for, there's a different dynamic for you where there should be closeness with relationships, but there also, love does not claim, it simply allows and gives. Some of you may feel stifled by someone's energy too. And so I don't think that you're stifling anyone, but there's some energy here about, yes, we can do things We can live on our own, we can do our own thing, I can survive on my own, I don't necessarily need them to live and breathe. But with the right people, right, you become a force. So spirit may be trying to get you to see like there needs to be a closeness, but the right ones will step up into the light or into the space that you are yearning for, you are looking for. And so let love be that guide for you. Don't And then that also lends to, I don't know that you're doing this and I don't think you would, but they're showing a vibe of don't do things for people with the sole intention of saying, well, I did for you, so now we need to be each other's village. And or we need to be closer because look at all that I've done for you. They're saying let love be the guide to everything that you do, that you just do it for the sake of, I just love to see someone nurtured, I just love to see someone fed or clothed or housed, I just love to see someone get what they need. That's the only reason, right? You want to give with gratitude. Like, I'm so grateful that I had this to give. I'm grateful that I can be that person that I may need in the future, but not to put that on a person that, well, I gave to you, so you need to be that person I need in the future. And they're only throwing this out here because they're saying there's something about these situations or these relationships here that will never be what it is that you had. It will never be what it is that you're looking for, right? So you what must always, it's like if someone asks to borrow something, look at it as, can I just give it without needing it back later? Because it's just going to cause more problems for you and the other people later, right? Give with, just say, you know what, if I get it back, all the better, but if I don't, that's okay too. Okay. They want you to be very grounded. So they're wanting you to be grounded and being inspired, feeling deep connections to others, but not feeling the possessiveness of that. Like the, I have a deep connection with spirit, therefore you are spirit also. I feel a deep connection to you, but I'm also, you have your space. um Feeling an inner joy no matter what happens, right? And that's part of the thing that where they were showing give, because it gives you there's an inner joy to saying, at least I had it to give, I'm glad that I did. But um also just happy regardless. Oh, I need to borrow, never hinging our happiness on, I hope they give it back, right? They want you to be out and take yourself out of that space. Two of Pentacles over the whole reading speaks about some changes or being able to balance things. So that is also another aspect of that too. Giving with the understanding, the express understanding of like, well, I'm still okay. Not ever putting yourself in an imbalance for anything. That would sap away your gratitude, right? And as gratitude, as another Taurus has told me, is the parent of all prosperity and abundance, right? But the positive aspects of abundance, gratitude, right? So you want to stay balanced as you're doing things, right? We want to stay focused on like, I'm grounded still. I'm still okay. I can still pay my bill. I can still make my meal. I may have given them a cup of sugar, but I still got a pound. I'm straight. You know what I mean? Three of Cups, Six of Wands, Hanged Man, and the Moon. But I'm glad I could make their life sweeter. Their coffee is going to be delicious now. I'm just glad because I love my coffee. Like, you got to be in that energy. I hope that you are, because if this is coming up, someone may be in the space of being like uh, wanting to work on partnerships, but expecting the partnership to already be whatever that you're expecting it to be um, without the love, without the gratitude, without the grace that's meant to be exchanged between two people or two or more people, and over a term, over a term. And like, I need it now. I expect it now. I gave you sugar. Now we're best friends. Like, what's up? You know. So the behind the mask, we have Three of Cups, Six of Wands, Hanged Man, and the Moon. Behind a mask, you may be somewhat confused, right? I'm seeing an energy of confusion, and the confusion may stem from our perspectives on successful relationships. And this could be in the workforce, this could be at home, wherever the heck that we have our relationships, right? Because This almost says I don't know, because someone, for some of you, someone may act like you guys are besties, but they don't really feel that way. That's just how they act as a person, right? And so there's something about underneath it all. What are these associations, right? I also see that underneath it all, you are a very successful individual. You have accomplished something, but this looks more of on a spiritual level, an accomplishment in some regard of perhaps feeling more adaptable. Maybe you at one point you were extremely rigid, okay, and maybe you lacked motivation at some point, and you may start to feel very inspired, and you may be confused by that, and maybe because the victim mentality tells me Nine of Pentacles and the Three of Cups, that in the past, uh, you may have felt victimized by this energy before. Like you were inspired, you felt great, and then boom, you may have been taken advantage of. People may have decided, may have been codependent uh, with you. Codependent. Codependent, somewhat in the way of like, say, like it's overwhelming for you, right? Like these could be people who expect over commitment, or they may expect you to go over above and beyond, reprioritize your situation in order to deal with them. You may, you know what I mean? The victim mentality, it also feels like maybe you could have been gossiped about. You may have felt like they were gossiping about you, and they would be in your space, but only, as long as it benefits them, and then as long as it's fun, as long as we're, um, like this could be people that party heavily, and overindulge, and you may feel victimized by that. Maybe you too at the same time are like, you know what, I overindulged dealing with certain people, and I overcommitted myself, that kind of thing. Beneath it all, you may be because it almost looks like that's the vibe of people. And then on another note, when it's when it's important, you may not feel like you have the backing, right? So it's very important now that you focus on letting love be just your guide, where with no strings attached. Like I just love people, or I just love you, so I'm just going to do this, but there's no expectations. Not to say you're being used, and that's not what I'm necessarily getting to, but more so of like understanding that your spiritual condition is your responsibility, and what other people, you can't control what other people will do or how they will react or deal with what, where you are in your life. I know how that sounds, right? But you want to say my future is an ideal projection of what I envision now. You start by being guided by what the feelings of love, being guided by, um, and living by love. I'm doing this, or I'm here because of love, right? That will help you to rediscover the real you, the person that you used to be before anything happened in the beginning, in the first place, back to the grassroots of Taurus. Now you have intuition and manifestation. You have the Fool and King of Swords. And so the Fool and King of Swords would tell me that your intuition is telling you that it's time for you to take a leap of faith and do what makes sense to you. Um, and mm, it's like you got to take action on things that make sense. And also tells me that you're clear. You see things very clearly. It tells me that your intuition's on point. Okay, and your intuition may be guiding you to realize that you need to have a lighter energy, rejoice, laugh, have fun, right? Focus on the here and now, not on what, maybe, you may feel like people took advantage of you, or they didn't prioritize you, but they expected you to prioritize them. And these may be people, like I said, that are heavy partiers, overindulging in things, maybe over drinking, over smoking, like they just do too much. And you may have felt like there was a connection, but now that also tells me that in those connections, they may be more, whenever someone overindulges, that substance, whatever they're doing, is more important than everybody else. But they, you know what I mean, way more important. You ever dealt with an alcoholic? They care about their drink, not necessarily about you. Oh, let's hang out, but they only want to hang out with you because you have all the drinks, you know what I mean? But they do want to hang out with you. They actually like the ambiance, the energy around you, but also the added benefit of, you've got what I need, you know. Fear is the King of Swords and the Star. You may be afraid, and afraid to take steps because you're afraid of being betrayed. I see someone who's really worried about betrayal. What happened, or maybe still not what happened, but still focused on the relationships that you used to have before they were focused on whatever they're focused on now. Mm. There's a fear that you will heal and others will not, and you may find yourself um, so far ahead of something. It's time to change. It's time to focus on now. Right now, this is where everyone is. Right now, just like we were talking about with families at the beginning. Right now, this is where the family is. But right now, you're rising above, right? And we can still be close. There could still be that bond, that connection. But I'm allowing and giving you space to figure your stuff out, right? And I'm moving forward and towards whatever, you know, because spirit always takes care of their beloved. You are a beloved. I'm seeing angel number 2222, and that is usually about a balance in relationships, typically, right? About the prosperity that comes from a balance in relationships. And so they're showing you can do it all by yourself, you know, but life is really meant to be shared. And so you must also be the person that shares, but shares with no strings attached. Okay. And when you partner up with the right spirit, you know, you become a force. And so there's some people that are not doing their part to become that right spirit, that best friend, that the right business partner, the right romantic partner. So you need to honor your commitments and honor the people around you. Don't judge anybody. Listen to what is being said. And also, when you do give, you give freely. We're not allowing ourselves to be a victim. We're not a victim of anything. You're very clear. You see something for what it is. You are very clear. So that's what they're bringing to you. They want you to understand about your situation. The fourth house may be very much so highlighted. You want to look into where that is, the placement is for you, and it also could express the roots that we plant with people, and how the kind of roots that other people are trying to plant with you, because whatever's in our chart is what we attract. The law of resonance is at play in that, right? And so you may feel vulnerable, or it may make you feel very vulnerable to give without any worry about anything, without any expectation. But you want to focus on right now, where everyone is and where you are. And remember to use like apricots, the color, the scent, the flavor, or the fruit. You want to wear it, you want to smell it, you want to taste it, you want to see it, have it around you. And you might also want to use, just in case, right? You're saying, listen, I don't feel, I feel inadequate. This whole dynamic between me and other people makes me feel like there's something wrong with me. You want to use like carnelian, like orange calcite, tiger's eye, sunstone. Wear those stones, or have them on your desk, or in your workspace, or in your pocket, or on your person somewhere. You want to like use oils, like diffusing oils, like, or you may want to wear the scent jasmine, sweet orange, neroli, ylang-ylang, like sandalwood. Eat fresh fruits, orange foods, especially apricots, big deal. Spend time near water. Dance that opens the hips. uh, you want to listen to 288 hertz frequency music. You don't have to listen to it loud, just play it in the background, right? Because our bodies pick up the resonance of that frequency, and it will help you in so many ways. Because if you are starting to feel uh, any imbalance in that area of where you are saying, you know what, it used to be this way, and what's happening? I feel like they gossip about me. I feel like they only come around me when they need something, and I feel like they're overdoing something too. and they don't really appreciate who I am and what I bring to the table. You may be feeling like lower back pain, feeling guilt or shame, embarrassment, like it's embarrassing, or maybe not motivated any longer, right? So you want to do these things, use these things, incorporate these tactics to help you to balance out, to realize that your future is bright, right? Your present can be bright too, regardless of whether or not you're dealing with this. So I hope this makes sense. This feels super, super personal, man. You could be dealing with an Aquarius, a Cancer, a Pisces, Aries, main signs. I'm also seeing Gemini. You could be a Taurus, Gemini cusp. Um, you could be an Aries, Taurus cusp, dealing with a Pisces, Aries cusp, or a Gemini, Cancer energy too, or Aquarius, Pisces. If you're not dealing with those signs, which you don't have to be, those signs could also be in your chart. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, my links are on my page. Peace, love, and light. Take care.